But I think maybe there was something underneath that I didn't quite understand. I was introduced to the concept of a shadow career recently. I don't know if we've mentioned this off camera
before. I've not heard that before either.
Yeah, it's basically a shadow career is you are doing something that is adjacent to what it is that you are, like your soul is yearning to do.
Okay. This week on JobsWorth, I'm joined by writer, you can correct me if I'm wrong with any of this, by the way, writer, podcaster, founder of No Place Like Home, Joseph Fordham.
I like to call myself all of those things.
All of those things, brilliant. And for the remainder of the conversation, I'm going to call you Joe, but Joseph just
fine, yeah.
Feels more official.
My mum's not here, you'll get away with that, okay. It's fine.
Fantastic. Since 2015, No Place Like Home has been incarnated in a number of forms. A book, a magazine, a podcast, and more recently, the incredible community space that we're sat in right now, based in Lee Marina in Essex. We're going to find out exactly what led Joe here over the course of this chat. Joe, welcome to JobsWorth.
Thanks for having me.
Woo! Tom off camera giving us the intro that Joe really deserves. Do you know what, mate? Just before we start, me and Tom have been working from here the entire day. We've done a few sessions down here now. Just congratulations on breathing this space into life. It's an incredible space, and thank you for letting us come in and film it and use it as a backdrop.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. But it is very much a team effort. It is just an idea that I've had, but I couldn't have made it anywhere near what you see here without other people.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure we'll get onto those.
We'll go into that. If you just take on, just thank everyone now.
Even my ego won't let me claim this as my own.
Okay, fair enough.
Is saying something.
Well, we'll find out about the team effort behind it and what has manifested this space into life too.
It does look nice though, doesn't it?
It does look nice. When you see the shots, it looks really nice. But we are going to start with the opening question. So when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Weirdly, physiotherapist. Yeah, that came up.
Right.
So I remember doing it's like a questionnaire that we did in PSHE or something like that. You'd answer all these questions. At the end of it, it'll give you your top well-suited professions.
Right.
And physio was top. And that seemed like a viable route into professional football and working at West Ham.
Okay.
Because being a professional footballer was well and truly off the table. And then it wasn't long after that I couldn't put a timeline on it, but once I realised that university and a lot of study was part of that, then it was just
all fell apart.
That was gone. Yeah, that was gone. Yeah, maybe it was like a bit of a dream for a year, but that was the first thing I saw myself doing.
Nice.
And I'd had a reference point of this elderly, overweight guy running onto the pitch at Upton Park, bucket and sponge kind of era.
Yeah. Magic sponge.
That could be me.
That could be me. He looks like he's having fun. He's making a way, just getting
he's
exercise.
Involved. He's at the party. That's the important thing.
Yeah. So was it more the connection to football, the connection to West Ham that was seen as a route in?
At that point, that's at that age, when you've got an interest, it burns really brightly. I think so. At the time, it was West Ham, it was football, sport. Yeah.
Nice. Where did you grow up?
Dagenham. Yeah.
Okay. So is that Greater London now?
Yeah, I think it's zone
Essex?
5.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Someone will correct us if it's wrong.
Far reaches.
Dagenham. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you like growing up?
I think I was all right. I was sensitive kid, definitely
right.
A sensitive kid, but always pretty sociable, active. Are these the kind of things that you're looking for?
They are. I mean, it's a loaded question in that we've spoken outside of this podcast before.
Yeah.
So I'm going into this armed with a little bit of context
Break
about
down
you.
That 4-4.
Exactly. But you've told me before that you have, maybe you didn't say it exactly like this verbatim, but
Was
issues with authority.
Yeah. Yeah, so absolutely do. Yeah.
I was just wondering.
That would have began with my parents, absolutely.
Okay. So I was wondering how that started, what the catalyst for that was, and maybe was that nurtured in that school environment? Do you remember being particularly rebellious?
Not necessarily rebellious. There were a couple of things that happened creeping into the teens that were objectively rebellious.
Right.
But I think I just always had an issue with being told what to do. That's something I've only really established the last couple of years, but you can connect the dots going backwards. And whilst I wasn't aware of or asking this exact question at the time, just a sense of why do I have to do that, or why are you talking to me like that? And the hierarchical relationships I've struggled with traditionally.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I think a lot of people, especially with conversations that we've had on the podcast, when they say they struggle with that school environment or the confines of how we're being taught, sometimes it's the ones that question the authority or think, no, why does it have to be this way?
Yeah.
They're the ones that maybe find a bit more friction in education.
Yeah, I didn't do particularly well for... This will sound maybe quite egotistical. My grades wouldn't reflect the kind of intellect that I would say they deserve, that I deserve,
Okay.
But that's because of application. I guess being told this is what you're doing an exam.
Yeah.
This only came up the other day with Jade, actually. She was, I think, mildly shocked to hear that I didn't do a minute of revision for any exam.
Right.
And I don't know whether that's actually something that come up even just at the end of last year doing an ultra with my mate Theo. We didn't do an ounce of training for it, and I don't know whether this is just like it'll be all right kind of attitude.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll be fine.
I hate people like you.
Well, if
just the fact that you can go and do an ultra.
Well, we didn't do it.
Training.
We were very relieved that it was cut in half because of the storm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I think the gods were watching.
The
us.
universe
We may have
was-
died otherwise. We may have died.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that I think is quite nice to look back at in the hindsight and maybe connect the dots, that how much of that was the environment you were in. So much of success when you're younger is based on your academic ability.
Yeah.
And grades. We're all being scored on a scorecard of eight. It's not A's, B's and C's anymore, is it? It's bloody numbers at GCSE and beyond. But I just wonder where the genesis of you feeling like you go against authority a little bit, where that started.
It must have been at home when there's no explanation for why you have to do something. It's just cause. And that's not a criticism to my parents. That's just a parenting style.
Yeah.
And as a kid, or just as a person, you're like, I just want a bit more information on this thing that you want me to do so badly. And then that would have just naturally gone into school.
Yeah, you take that with you, don't you?
Yeah.
And now you're making me feel bad as a parent. This is not your intention, I'm sure. But again, when we are, because we're both parents, and we've both got two boys, and definitely mine a little older than you, but as they start to be able to articulate their grievances and feel like there's an injustice, you do sometimes just fall on, I'm your dad.
Yeah.
And you need to do what I'm telling you.
I'm so curious to see how that plays out with me.
Yeah.
And whether I will kind of relate to what they're saying, or whether I'll kind of lean into the roles. I don't know.
The authority.
I like to think I'll say, yeah, fair enough. If you don't want to, I can explain this to you.
Yeah.
Or I like to say that now, but in the heat of the moment.
But the thing is, it's your lived experience as well, isn't it? I mean, the whole parenting thing is maybe another podcast that we can go through. But, this is... I think
we've got anything else to do.
We just do podcasts all the time. It's all good. You are a creative at heart. And I was looking back over your earlier career and the creative endeavours that you took on. I don't think you necessarily always present. I think you're quite modest, you're quite humble, and you don't always share the things that you've achieved and your background. This is why we're doing a podcast.
I would agree with that, yeah. I think, I would consider myself creative and a creative, but then I think there's maybe some issues with self-confidence that have run alongside that have stunted creativity at points and maybe prevented me from pursuing it more seriously. And even questioning the kind of validity of my creativity. So then to the point of not doing it for a while, to the point where other people would validate my claim of being.
Okay.
So it all comes down to what other people think of me.
Yeah, I mean the whole validation angle is a very it's a very common conversation that we have, looking for that external validation and not necessarily being able to just connect with the drive and what it does for you.
Yeah.
But I think it's a trait that I share. It's a very common thing.
There have been moments when that hasn't been the case, but predominantly it has been, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know which one is the authentic version of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've experienced both.
Yeah.
Which, again, I'd say is the healthier way sometimes to do that. You can see both sides of the fence. What do you remember the first time that you did anything creative? And we're talking beyond maybe getting a crayon out and draw something.
Yeah. Something that's stuck with me for a long time, going into year 7. So that's 11 years old, 42 now. And this has stuck with me. First art assignment, self-portrait and a still life. So sat in front of a mirror and did a self-portrait. Wasn't great. But still life of a plant on our kitchen table was pretty good.
Nice.
Contextually good for an 11-year-old kid.
Of course.
And I was questioned on whether it was me that did it.
Right.
So I got the A. So homework's graded every time. And Mr. Argent, his name was. And A, very good. I hope you drew it. And
there's the question mark.
So the way I responded to that, and the way I've responded to a lot of things throughout my life, is fuck that then. If you don't, I just won't.
Yeah, what's the point? If you're not even going to believe I've done it, then what's the point of me doing it?
Yeah, and I held on to art all the way through to A-levels. I only did 1 year of A-levels before dropping that out. But even in the the end of year exam, I just kind of gave up because it was going wrong, and I just thought, I'm just going to check out.
Right.
You know, and by that point, I think I used to love drawing as a kid. I'd draw cartoons, make little kind of storybooks, and there's always like some words to go with it. But I'd kind of the qualities didn't seem to increase as I was getting older. So like I could draw you something now and it would look like an 11-year-old boy's drawing.
Okay, you're stuck in year 7.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Argent. Yeah,
you really fucked him up.
Hope you're happy with yourself. Yeah.
Okay, but that is the earliest memory because again you've gone to do so many creative things throughout your career. You mentioned on a podcast that I was listening to that you enjoyed newspapers and magazines as
always,
a kid.
Yeah.
Do you remember what in particular, or any specific magazines and newspapers you were reading or picking up at the time that kind of connected with you or resonated?
I'd get comic books.
Right.
Beano and Dandy were the typical ones that.
Yeah.
Tintin.
Well.
Loved Tintin. Yeah. They were more like it was more of a substantial kind of offering. It was like a book almost, you know, like thin spine. But I loved them. Like the escape, like the adventure in them. They were brilliant. And then that would kind of evolve into Match and Shoot.
Right.
Through osmosis. Like my brother would have had football magazines, and then that's hanging around. And then the Sunday supplements are hanging around, and just would be drawn to the imagery, the look, the feel of them, the smell. And
was it, I'm thinking specifically why magazines and newspapers and comics as a specific example, because you could go down, is it the mix of the visuals with the copy and the words and that kind of dual engagement?
Yeah, photography was becoming
like
an interest, definitely. And there was, like my dad was into that, and there was always a beautiful camera. I still have it now, an Olympus OM2. It's like a 45-year-old camera. So he was always taking photographs of us. Then I guess, just an interest in that medium developing, and then seeing a Sunday supplement from one of the papers, and there's like a cool image that goes with a fashion shoot or something like that. Not that I'm particularly into fashion, but I can really appreciate a shoot and the styling of it,
the aesthetic and the
lighting,
look.
And that was just something that was growing in me and didn't really go away. But I could read any magazine about any topic if I'm not interested in it, but if it visually draws me in, even a TV show, I'll go on that journey. I don't care if the writing's bad, If it's lit well,
if the
and shot
visuals
well,
are there, yeah,
I'm in. Yeah.
Tom will be over the moon to hear stuff like that as well. You know,
It's
the
the only reason I
lighting and the
watch
visuals. I think it's the only reason many people start watching it. So you mentioned you did 1 year of your A-levels. And then 16, 17, you got your first job.
17, yeah. I just
work
wanted
experience.
to work. Yeah.
Sunday Times.
Yeah, my dad was an electrician at News International, as it was known then. It's News UK now, in Wapping. And I can remember he was taking me to Oasis at Wembley Stadium for my birthday, my 17th birthday.
I don't even want to know the cost of those tickets in comparison to the more recent tour I've done. But yeah, wow. Okay.
Yeah, probably about 20 quid is a joke, isn't it? But yeah, that was in the July. So my birthday's at the end of June. They were touring at the end in July at some point. And I decided I wasn't going to go back for the second year. And he wasn't too happy about that. And he's like, if you haven't got a job, then you will be going back.
Right.
And I definitely took that seriously, because when he spoke, then I listened.
Okay.
But I didn't really know what I would do. And I remember my mum taking me somewhere around Liverpool Street, and I vaguely remember this. It's like a shirt and trousers that I'd been wearing to sixth form for that year, and a tie that I picked up from Awful. Like 17-year-olds then,
be seen dead in it now.
17-year-olds today, there's a big difference in how
I mean, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Me doing work experience in a school. I mean, I was 15 at the time, but not a million miles off. Oversized suit, but walking out the door thinking like, oh, I'm a grown up.
Yeah, never even considered going into a gym at that point.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to do with my hair. But clothes didn't really fit.
Yeah, 16, 17-year-olds now, they just look finished. They've come out the oven and they're done. They've worked it out. They've missed the gawky phase, the awkward teen.
They know
and they're just
about
finished.
things like, disassociating and I don't know, all about mental health and protecting their the bubble and all that kind of. They know so much. And it's terrifying.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm jealous of them in some ways.
Yeah.
Because I'm still figuring it out.
I mean, all of those words, dissociation, teach me.
I wish I could not take everything so seriously.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
But yeah, I vaguely remember my mum taking me up and had some CVs printed. And at that point, what have I got? Some crappy GCSEs and dropped out of A-levels.
A year of A-level.
I'm going around some recruitment agencies looking for a job that I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah.
And just looking at these, tower blocks and not even knowing what goes on inside them. And then at some point over that summer holiday, my dad had said he'd spoken to... So my dad was an electrician at News. I think I might have mentioned that. But he was a really personable man, and he would talk to anyone, good at building relationships. And he was friendly with people in the C-suite and people that are down on the maintenance staff. And he basically just went into the HR office, spoke to the head of HR, Brenda Hemmings, I think her name was.
Shout out Brenda.
Yeah, Brenda Hemmings.
Yep.
And just basically said, my son's finishing his A-levels and he needs some work experience.
Yeah.
Or a job, even better. And she said, bring him in. So I went and had a chat with her, and within a week, she'd got me 2 weeks work experience at the Sunday Times.
Right.
And then I was there for 3.5 years. Yeah.
Did you connect at the time with this love of newspapers, magazines, comic books, and the relevance of what you were doing then, or was it a job? I mean, it's a massive machine.
It was exciting to me. I was definitely excited at that point. So before then, my dad had worked at that plant for. This is 99. I think I've started there. After maybe 2000. 2000, I guess.
Right.
And it would have been 2000. But I'd spent the summer of 99 there after my GCSEs as a little labourer working for the company that my dad worked for.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks at News, just kind of like carrying cable around and cleaning tools and
all the fun grunt work. Yeah, yeah.
And I loved it. I got to know the whole plant, every nook and cranny of that place, and just being in the proximity of those papers. Like, we'd walk through the office, the Sun and the Times, and see people at their desks, not knowing what they were doing, but I could see layouts of the pages on there. I'm like, oh, that's going to be in the print. We'd walk through the print hall, and there's robots carrying these massive reams of paper, like massive. and then you see the papers running off, and then you see the strap going around, and it was all happening in that one place at the time. And that was genuinely dreamland for me, even though I was just, labourer for the summer.
Yeah.
So then going back to get those 2 weeks work experience, to be on the floor at the Sunday Times, that was very cool.
It's huge. It's huge, yeah. So it's good. It's good in so many ways that you can connect with the relevance of that and how exciting that was, because so many people, especially at that age, when they're not necessarily clear on their direction, will land a job and it's a means to an end, or it's a way of making money. It's not something that they can feel like, oh, this is actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, if only I didn't have those issues with authority.
Yeah.
Then
Well, it's a big machine, right? It's a huge machine. You've got a big org structure, a hierarchy, all of these things. The skills that your dad has with, top to bottom, being able to communicate with all those levels, which is great. But when you're being managed directly by people sat above you, then that's a different way of working, isn't it?
Yeah,
a different
definitely.
environment.
And I think I was maybe too young for that environment, but it opened my eyes up to a lot, and I look back on that fondly, sometimes with a little bit of regret. I mean, it was there. Like, you're in a place like that at that age, and no one was really stopping me from progressing, but I'd put a block on myself.
Yeah.
And without realising it at the time.
Usually I tend to save these questions until the end when we get a bit more reflective about your career to date. But if you could go back to 17-year-old, 18-year-old Joe now, and look the way your life has panned out as it has. So I'm not saying that you would go back and change it, but just the advice you could give 17, 18-year-old Joe, would you change anything? Would you just whisper in your own ear and think, just calm down, or just suck it up a little bit? You don't need to out this as being like an authority thing, or
there's been a lot of times over the years that I would have held regrets over that.
Right.
But, and I mean this sincerely, finding myself here now, in this town, in here, with my partner and my sons, if any of that's different, then this is different, and I can't complain. And I have complained a lot, believe me, and a lot of it has been self-inflicted, but it's worked out all right.
No,
if I'd have known this was coming, the past 20 years may have been a little smoother. Yeah. But there we go.
Yeah, you just accept your fate and you go along on the slide and know what's at the end of it. But, okay.
But there was a good opportunity there so regardless of that, there was a good opportunity there that I messed up, I would say, objectively. Okay. There is, Jade works there now. She's been there for 10 years. And it's one of those companies where you could spend 25 years there, then they can just get rid of you, as they do.
Yeah.
But if I'd had some of the knowledge and maybe the skills that I've got at this point, and maybe someone with an arm around me at that point, then there would have been a bit more of a progression, I guess. But then it didn't work out. And there was a mentor, the Kathleen Heron. She's passed away now, sadly, but she was the managing editor at the Sunday Times. She loved me. She if I needed a star witness to get me off of something very, very bad, I'd say get Kathleen in, and this is going to go away. She was amazing. She's from Philadelphia. She had this beautiful big hair. She always walked around with a Barclays menthol cigarette. You could smell her coming with her perfume.
I love that is such a visual. That's such a visual description. It's so cool. Yeah,
and
love that.
She was very protective over me. I think because I was there young, and then my dad was working there. My dad died soon after I started working there, and I think she did look after me. But then I checked out, and had that. There's no excuses, but I just didn't really want to be there, and I was there for a bit longer. Another couple of years before going away, but
we're similar ages, Joe, and I think when I look back at some of the opportunities I had in my late teens that I squandered or said no to, if you'd asked me a few years after that, there is a lot more regret. But then you look at the way your life has panned out, and you go, look, I've not had a bad run. This is and as you say, it's like your stereotypical film plot, right? Time travel. If you go back and change one event, it's gonna the wrinkle in time, the butterfly effect, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not about wishing to go back in a time machine and change anything that's happened. But I think maybe that comes with a bit more distance.
Yeah.
So for me, I could say in my mid-20s, I'm sat there maybe in a job that I wasn't loving, not feeling like I had all my shit together. I'm not there yet. But yeah, I could probably regret not saying yes when I should have done that. Or like there was an opportunity for me to go and get work experience at Reuters and I wanted to become a journalist for a spell.
Okay, yeah.
Why did I say no to that? It's probably because I had a girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. It's the best you could do at the time.
Exactly, yeah. So there are those things, but I think the distance sometimes helps, and life experience and understanding that
I like that.
It all happens for a reason.
Makes me feel a little bit better.
Good, I'm glad. This is very easy to become kind of like a dissection of your CV, so to speak, because again, you go on LinkedIn and I can see the various...
It's unremarkable.
It's not unremarkable.
Flatters to deceive, I think, a little bit, yeah.
But I really don't think it is unremarkable. I think looking back at what you've done, and when I say you're a creative, I think the fields and the industries and the sectors you've worked in, it all started to make sense to me why you, in part, and I want to understand more, but in part why you've been driven to create this space, in part. So I don't want to make this a dissection of all the jobs that you've ever had, but is it fair to say that time at the Sunday Times or at News International at least kickstarted, it gave you the start, the entry point to what would become at least the foundational years of your career?
Easy,
beyond the Sunday Times.
It was, I walked into the next job at the next publishing house.
Right.
Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah.
They didn't even care what I'd been doing there.
Right. It was the name got
Sunday
you through
Times,
the door. Right. 3
years, 2 stints. So I had 3.5 years there. I went travelling for a year, came back and did maybe 6-9 more months, I'm not sure. Maybe another year. But you should never go back.
Right.
That's a learning. Just, you've done it. You've done it. It's never the same.
Right.
I wanted to leave for a reason. Going back was just safe. It was, again, I could walk into it. Kathleen, I went in to see her after being away for a year, said I could do with earning some money quickly. She said, see you Monday.
Right.
And we'll figure it out. We'll find something for you to do. It's too easy. And there were times in my life where things have been too easy.
Right.
And that was one of them. So 9 months, maybe, it could have been a year, I don't know, but it just got sour again really quickly. And I was like, remembered why I needed to get out of here, and saw a job at Haymarket, which is just another publishing house, loads of magazines that you would have heard of, some that you wouldn't have heard of, and you would wonder why it's a magazine.
Right.
So 442, a football magazine that you probably heard of. Practical Motorhome magazine you've maybe not heard of.
It's more niche, but yeah, there's still a space for that.
Yeah.
Really.
And so I interviewed there, and Sunday Times got me that job.
What was keeping you in that though? Was it a conscious effort to carry on in that space, or was it a deeper thing? Because I again, going on to what you've done, collecting stories or being part of the machine that collects stories, especially when you're in those types of publications, did that connect at that point? Yeah,
I think it was just it. I don't know. I could quite easily connect dots that are not there.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I'm in print, I'm in the papers, and that's a publishing house. So that's the industry I work in now. But I think maybe there was something underneath that I didn't quite understand. I was introduced to the concept of a shadow career recently. I don't know if we've mentioned this off camera before.
I've not heard that before either.
By a guy who I've mentioned to you recently, Sam.
Right.
A friend of mine, Sam, who I worked with for his decorating company, White Fox, for the last year or so. And it's basically a shadow career is you are doing something that is adjacent to what it is that you are, like your soul is yearning to do.
Okay.
So I'm in the Haymarket at this point, and I'm working in a production role that was just an easy role to walk into. It's like kind of, you get in, anyone can really do that.
Right.
No offence.
Right.
But anyway, it
will offend someone, but yeah. You've caveated.
I've done it now. Yeah. You said no cuts. So yeah. But it was a way in, and I thought I guess it was me telling myself that I can do that job that's within my abilities, so I'll be able to get that. I won't push myself. I won't be pushing myself too far. There's a fear of failure there. There's, underlying issues of fear of failure, all that kind of thing. So I get this job in there, and I'm in the production department, and that is essentially, it's different wherever you are, but in that particular role, it's basically a little bit of classified ad mock-ups, so a little bit of light design. It's laying out some like the classified ad pages. It's kind of a little bit of that sort of stuff, and very bored very quickly. And travelling from zone 4 this side to zone 6 the other side to do it. Nice area, it was lovely. Teddington, beautiful, but there was only so long. I was getting bored. I find that's a common thread.
Right.
Getting bored, and it's like, it's because I'm doing. I can only stitch that together again now. It's because this is for my brain. That's boring.
Right.
And there's what I believe it to be now. There's people doing the words over there.
Yeah.
Or doing some retouching over there. Doing some more of the art-based stuff, like the design-based stuff. And I'm doing this, like kind of the grunt work, basically.
Right.
So I was unsatisfied and looked for a change. And that an opportunity popped up somewhere around Blackfriars, and I got the job, and it was a good one. It was I can't remember the name of the publishing house now, but they did loads of like Champions League final, UEFA programs and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, this is great. And then it folded before I could get the job. And I was like, they've replaced me here already, and I was kind of a bit stuck. And
right, no man's land.
But fell upwards, really. I ended up at Condé Nast,
right,
which is prestigious, but it didn't really feel like that was me at all.
Right.
I felt very conscious of where I was from, and that was self-imposed.
Yeah.
But then ended back at News,
right,
in Chelsea, and that was great. But in another production role.
Okay.
I know this is becoming autobiographical, but I was back in News, and it's great, and different part of town, Chelsea. Loved it for a bit until I got bored again, and I was like, getting restless, and I start acting out. Like my attitude changes very sharply,
right,
from being a good, compliant, hard-working employee to
being a pain in the ass.
Frustration comes out. I'm a pain in the ass now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that I mean, I don't mind the biographical nature of that rundown, because so many people would have gone through something similar and reacted in a very similar way. So I think it's going to be so common, and there'll be so many people listening that can relate to exactly that path that you took. So it's really important to share that part of it.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, I guess at that point I was just I am in publishing at that point. Just didn't have the self-belief to go and do something.
So what year does that bring us up to?
So 2007, and then 2008 or 9. I think 2009.
We won't hold you to any of these dates, by the way. This is your life.
It was basically like the big crash. But News were like, we're going to sell these titles off.
Right.
We're not supporting a publishing arm anymore. We're newspapers, and we're online, that kind of thing. So it wasn't a redundancy, because another publishing house were taking the title. It's a different word. I can't remember what it was, but it meant you were being compensated, not made redundant.
Right. Okay.
I'd been there 18 months at that point, and I was entitled to something like 700 quid.
Right. It's not.
But I got a lot of money that's not taxable.
Right.
So I just went away again.
Okay.
Instead of thinking I can build on something here, I got a plane ticket back to Australia to meet the mates I'd met when I was away before a few years.
But how old are you at that stage?
It's just 2009, so like 26.
Okay. So I went travelling at 25. I still think that's well within the I mean, any era. Look, even at 42, you've got responsibility now.
Yeah.
Heavy weight of responsibility.
But make that decision is one that I've kind of questioned a few times. Like, there was an opportunity again that was missed, and I took the route of just
least
going
resistance
away.
in a way.
Yeah, I'll just go away and I'll spend that rather than build it. And I went back to Australia, and I don't think I actually worked properly for a year. I was doing bits and pieces with the repro house that were doing our artwork when I was at that most recent role in news. I just made friends with these guys, and I just came back from that trip and just got in touch with them and said, can I come in and learn some of this stuff, basically. So I'd go in there for free and I would just learn Photoshop.
That's a really important thing, again, to remind people. And I do think it's changed with this generation coming through that are starting to explore what they want to do for a living. I think it needs to be more people talking about and advocating for the importance of giving up your time for free. And it's been vilified in so many ways.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes to get a foot on the ladder and to get a foot in the door, I guess is the better analogy, you do have to give something. You have to show willing. What's your view on that now? Would you give that advice to people?
If you're able to do it, I didn't even question it. I chose to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like they weren't offering an unpaid internship or anything. I kind of proactively reached out to them, and I made myself indispensable to them, to the point that I got a job.
Nice.
And so there's see what I mean? There's flashes of stuff like that where if I need to make something happen, I can.
You're going to do it, yeah.
But I don't always have that urgency.
Yeah.
You probably won't be surprised to hear that I eventually got bored.
Again, I'm wondering how many times you've said that during this conversation. But it's definitely a common thread. I think a lot of people, again, will be able to relate to that. I want to kind of move forward from here because you did go for a stint freelancing as a photographer too, didn't you?
Yeah.
So really now, was that you leaning in to creativity and embracing that now? Or was it, again, a needs-must thing? What was the catalyst that tipped you into freelancing?
So probably a few things at that time. I was working at a company called Living Social, which was a startup. And that was an experience like a friend of mine. We still talk about it now. It just doesn't seem like it was something that we actually lived through. It just seems like something made up.
Right.
But after a few years, it was, again, I was hitting that point and it was becoming untenable for me to be there. Were
you bored?
Again, indispensable rather. You know, I'd work all the hours they needed me to as a startup. I was a good employee, and then I wasn't.
You hit a wall.
I hit a wall, and then I wasn't a good employee, and I can be quite combative.
Did it seem to be the same kind of tenure, always the same sort of term? Was it a timing thing?
3-year itch.
3 years.
If I made it that far. Sometimes it was a little bit less than that. But somewhere along the lines, along there, I'd started to take photos, which I'd done as a teen. I remember I got a disposable camera on like a front of a magazine when I was around 16. I just photographed my mates all the time. Like there's albums of it stored at my mum's, and just documented literally everything we did, from a random night at someone's house to holidays to whatever. And I enjoyed that kind of documenting stuff, and I'd been exposed to photography through my dad, and I appreciated photography as a medium. And I'd started to take a few more photos, and one of my mates liked them, and they were going back to Australia to get married, and he said, we'd feel more comfortable if you took our photos versus a stranger.
Right.
If we fly you over, will you take our wedding photos? So I said, yeah, that sounds good. So I did that, and they were good. They were, the pressure was off because it was my mates. I didn't really feel any pressure. So I started to do a bit more of that, and I think I put a site together, and I really started to, Instagram was becoming a bit of a thing.
Right.
And it was when it was just people putting their art up, not like we do now.
Yeah.
And there was this photographer I came across, his kind of creative name, Tom Fraud.
Right.
His name, Nick. And I just really, I don't know, I liked what he was doing, and there was something about him that was drawing me through the phone. And I'd comment on a few pictures and stuff like that, and then it makes me feel a bit sad really, but he commented back, and I remember kind of fanboying out. And I was like, anyway, he said, why don't you come around the studio sometime, we'll have a chat. And it was in Soho, so I walked from Covent Garden in this job that's becoming increasingly untenable.
Yeah.
And he was like, why don't you come and work for me? And I just went, yeah, all right. And I didn't even ask him about pay, anything. I just quit my job. And I went home to my ex.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go and work for this guy. And I can't remember the exact words, but she was understandably a bit like, what? And I was like, yeah.
How much are you getting paid?
No,
what are you taking home? Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't ask any questions. It was just like, that's a way I can get out of here, but I'm stepping into something here.
Yeah.
And there was an appeal to there was a sense of freedom to what he was doing and like living his life.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he had a desk, but he's like, we were like out and about and we were interacting with people, or we'd be on a shoot and then doing something else. And it felt like I was experiencing life a bit more rather than being sat at a desk for 8 hours.
Do you feel like engaging with people and that social interaction, does that charge you?
Yeah, I didn't realise it then.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it then, but I remember feeling excited that I was doing that and that I'd been missing out on something. The amount of different people we would meet, all kinds of people were coming in, musicians and models and athletes and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, this is exciting to me.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from him. So yeah, it didn't last long, but it set me up with the confidence to kind of pursue that line a bit more.
Yeah.
But I struggled really. I didn't have the kind of the right mindset to be a freelance photographer in a competitive field at all.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of just treading water for a few years.
But that was 2015.
Yeah, I started with
spanned a few years from 2015.
So I think like the end of 2013 or beginning of 14 for like a year.
Okay.
So from 15, I would have been on my own for a few years then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2015 marked the creation of No Place Like Home
Yeah.
in its first iteration.
Yeah.
Right. So now I want to talk about this because I think it's fundamentally such a important part of this space we're in today. And the through line is, it all made sense. When I started doing a bit of research, it doesn't all make sense because I want to have the conversation with you, but so many of the pieces started to fall into place for me. But the creation of No Place Like Home was all bound in football.
Yeah.
And a project that you did in the 2015-2016 season, which was the last season that West Ham were at the Berlin ground.
That's right, yeah.
Tom, how good was that? It sounds like I knew what I was talking about.
Stuff, eh?
This is me. Yeah, this is
football, eh?
Yeah, football derby. Anyway, but yeah, so that. Talk to us about the start of that project. Now, obviously, so heavily rooted in picking up a camera, but storytelling as well. So, what sparked?
I don't think I was. I wasn't conscious of the storytelling. That's even though it is objectively sharing people's stories. I can remember where I was going when the idea hit me, and I've never felt anything or seen anything so clearly. And all the steps play out. I was on the train to my mate's house from Canada Water out to Forest Hill with my ex, and I just said, I'm going to make a book, 112 portraits, and their accounts of, maybe not in these words, but their account of their time as a fan at Upton Park, and West Ham are going to take it. And I didn't know, it was a certainty. And I was like, I'm going to start at their first home game, which was coming up really soon because they were playing in the preliminary rounds of the Europa League. So the season started somewhere in the middle of July as opposed to early August.
Right.
And it was just, I didn't really have a choice. That was it. I started doing it without really any idea on how I would get 112 people, but I thought, well, it's 35,000 there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I can get 112. I know a few of them.
Yeah.
I can get, my mates in it, my brother in it.
I was going to say your brother's in it as well.
It's literally just I say my mates and my brother. A mate and my brother. That was my match day experience.
Yeah.
It was small.
Yeah.
It was really small. And so I started the next week, a guy called Paul, who I photographed in front of the flats that he grew up in, which, they were like iconic to a West Ham fan. You could see the pitch. You'd see people looking out of their windows down to the pitch from behind the North Bank. And then I just kind of went from there. So
that conviction that you have to have that idea and just know,
I've never seen anything so clearly. And it shocks me to even because I'm indecisive about a lot of things, stubborn in other ways, but it was just like the clearest thing I've ever seen.
Take me back a couple of steps. Why West Ham? Like why is it West Ham?
My dad and brother, yeah. So growing up, my dad was like, liked football. He wasn't kind of like a partisan fan. He enjoyed football, and West Ham was his team. And he would take my brother when he was smaller, and then my brother would go on his own. And I can just remember like seeing my brother going out. It was an 8-year gap. So when my brother was at the point of him being able to take himself, I'm looking at my big brother going out, and he's got his colours on, and there would be VHS, like season compilations and that kind of thing. Yeah, and I just really liked it. The colours, I find the colours beautiful. The claret and the blue and the green pitch. It really did.
It's so funny.
It grabbed me.
Because I asked you if you had a physical copy of No Place Like Home as part of research. So while I was sitting here today, I was flicking through. I'm not a football fan. You might have picked this up by some of the comments I'm making off camera to Tom. He'll know. But you have in those stories, especially yours, because you were also in this book as one of the 112 stories.
Yeah, my friend Will took that photo for me last
I love
night.
it. And you romanticise football for me.
Oh.
I've never ever thought of it like the beautiful game before. I've never ever read a piece of writing about it and understood why people can connect with it like that until I read genuinely what you put down, and I was just like, shit. The green pitch or the green grass. I was like, the passage, and we'll share it if it's okay.
Yeah,
we'll share it when we put the episode out. I just read it. I was like, kind of get an inkling of why people are so connected to it beyond. My experience has always been chatting to mates or being present during a conversation in a pub where my friends are talking about football and shit managers and good managers and formations of which I don't speak that language.
But you know what? Neither do I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
But yeah, like, that doesn't interest me.
Right.
There's no romance in it. For me, it's like what's going on around it.
Yeah.
I can remember sitting at I couldn't tell you a year or the game, but I can remember looking at a dad and his kid who was maybe around 10, and I'd have been in maybe my early 30s at this point. But just kind of watching him for a bit and thinking, is this his first game? What does he make of this? Is this going to ruin it for him, or is it going to make it for him? Because like my first game we got battered, but it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's all what's going on around it, and there's not really anything romantic happening on the pitch. It's just what you're attaching to it, or how you remember it, or who you're sharing it with at the end of the day.
It's the context outside the game, isn't it, as well? You can still be in a stadium, but what is happening around you?
Smells, sounds, all that kind of stuff.
Like even when you say the claret and blue and how and seeing that and it just being a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful colours to me.
Yeah, you've got a really lovely way of articulating. And honestly, I read that today and I was like, kind of, for the first time ever in my adult life, I connected with why maybe you could get into it to the level that some people do, and it transcends just the I don't know. I'm going to offend someone by doing this. I'm going to really badly say this, but maybe your standard way of supporting, or some of the stereotypes that you associate with. Yeah, but
I think that people that follow the game in a more stereotypical way will also experience those things. Yeah, whether they know it or not. That's what's pulling them into it. Yeah, because they're talking about crap managers or shit players to their mates. They're together as communion. That's what it is. It's just belonging to something.
Yeah,
that's all following a football team is, really.
I love that. I want to ask you as well, because you got 112 people. I flicked through the last page.
There's 113 in there.
113?
Yeah, a file naming error.
Okay.
There's 113 in there.
113.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's meant to be 112, one for every year. But I messed up.
Okay, that's fine. I won't judge you. But I'm flicking through the book, and then the final page is Jeff Hurst.
Yeah.
And even I know Jeff Hurst is a big deal. So tell me a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah, this is cool, whatever way you cut it. It was gathering steam. And I couldn't put a month on it, really. But I started this in July. I finished it it took 374 days to capture every image. So somewhere around there, the May, maybe. But I was picking up some weddings here and there. and it's very lucky that a couple asked me to shoot their wedding in Tuscany. And the guy, Johnny, his dad was Franny Lee, who sadly passed away recently, last year, I think. But he was a character, and just a wonderful, warm, what I would consider a typically northern family. Friendly, taking a piss out of you. It's all affectionate. How can I help you?
Right.
That's kind of my experience of Northerners.
Okay. Nice summary.
During my life. Yeah. And so Johnny's like, yeah, Dad, Joe's making a book, blah, 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 blah. Anyone you can help him with? Must be some Man City, West Ham crossover. And after he told me that Bobby Moore was shit and that he basically ran him ragged a few times at Upton Park, he was like, yeah, I can sort of have a few people. I'd probably get you blah, blah, blah. And then Trevor Sinclair, and he's going through some that have played for both. And he said, I'll see if I can get Jeff Hurst in. See if he'll do it for you.
What is your reaction internally? Like, what are you thinking at that?
I thought this
point?
Is something along the lines of, that's it. So it's cracked it.
Right.
And it kind of legitimised the whole. And by that point, I'd had a few ex-players in, and Tony Carr, my old school friend's uncle, was like the youth team director, so he's responsible for Rio Ferdinand, Joe Cole and Carrick and Defoe and all these people. He agreed to do it for me,
right,
which led to a Steve Potts, which leads to a Kenny Brown and all these kind of things. But Hurst,
it's just levels.
There's
levels.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, this really legitimises the project.
Yeah.
And I was excited. I was excited by it, even when he told me not to get too excited about it. So yeah, the instruction was to write Jeff Hurst a letter explaining what I was doing, and if he decided it was something he wanted to do, he'd call me in the number that I provided in the letter.
Right.
And I was working in a shit studio at the time called Pack Shot in Camden, above fish factory one end and a laundrette the other end.
So it's a heady mix, isn't it?
Yeah, so whichever studio you were in, I think there was like 6 in a row, whatever end you were at, you were either above the laundrette, so it was really hot but smelt amazing.
Yeah.
Or you were above the other end in like studios 1 to 3 and it just stunk of fish.
Yeah.
And the phone rang, it was a number I didn't recognise, and answered it, and it was Jeff Hurst's voice on the other end of the phone, and I just the juxtapose of where I was and not enjoying what I was doing, surprise, surprise, to hearing him on the phone, I just kind of left all that behind for a moment, you know, and was just thinking about the book.
Yeah.
That was my life for a year, really. So to get that person in made it all seem worth the effort, I guess.
It's again I don't know you too well, Joe, but I feel like we've got to know each other quite well over the last few months, and I've experienced parts of your journey, and which has been really, it's been an honour. But sitting there with this physical manifestation of all this work earlier, and for you to have copies, and for there to be thousands, there are a couple of thousand copies in the world.
There was of
what you've done, the physical evidence, a little bit of a legacy there as well. Do you sit with that now? Can you sit with that now 10 years on and be like, I'm so proud of that?
Yeah, only now. I couldn't look at it for a long time.
Why?
There's on my brother's page, there's a missing space between 2 words, and it fucked me off. It fucked me off big time. And then when I realised there was 113 in it, and I was like, you know, all of the good.
Yeah, just detracts you, those 2 little details.
And you could pick up most books and most papers, most books, magazines, you'll find something. And I always, I'd never really think anything of it because it was mine. I felt that a mistake said something about me. And yeah, once it was done and the club had taken it off of me, I kind of just wanted to move on from it.
Almost put it in a drawer, and that's part, that chapter, literal chapter, is kind of closed and on to the next thing.
It's only recently when it was week 1 of here, or it might have been the week leading up to opening here. I got an email out of the blue from these 2 guys that do this podcast, and they'd had a copy of the book and they wanted to talk about it. And I was like, that's still out there. They was like, you know, where did you find that? And he's like, I've had it a few years, someone gifted it to me, and want to talk about it 10 years on after leaving and all that kind of thing. And I felt a sense of pride in it then, because that did give, the sense of legacy came through there, I guess. You know, it's out there and people are enjoying it still.
We're talking about different iterations. So No Place Like Home, it's a book, could have stopped there. No Place Like Home as a name, as an idea, could have stopped there. But we then move into the podcast chapter.
It moved well. There's
was it the magazine,
book, zine, fanzine, magazine, podcast. The book had opened. I couldn't not do anything then.
Right.
I didn't do anything for a year after the book. And
but what stuck about? What was it about No Place Like Home that connected with you so much? Because you could do a book and call it something else. You could do a fanzine, call it something else. You could do a podcast, call it something else.
I think it opened up my match days so much to people outside of my brother and my mate Will. You know, before it would literally be just the three of us, and then all of a sudden, before a game, bumping into people I'd met through doing it. And this sounds like a really wanky term. My match day experience, as the clubs like to sell these days, was enriched so much by bumping into these people that had, I guess, taken value from their experience of being in the book, and liked speaking to me. I liked speaking to them. So then it was just I felt much more like I belonged a lot more.
Right.
Now a part of this.
Okay.
So maybe I didn't feel like my place in some way was valid. But now it's like I've done this, and now I'm a part of you.
Yeah.
And,
but you've contributed to the history in so many ways, haven't you? As well, you've created this
at
thing.
At the time, I didn't really realise that, but it
hindsight is a wonderful thing.
It is part of the library of books that are dedicated to that club now. Yeah, and it tells the story of fans, that hasn't been told before, albeit only 113. but it tells the other side, and I think that resonated with people, I guess, and that sense of home, belonging, that was all just coming through, I guess. Like I felt like I belonged a bit more because of it.
Yeah.
And by carrying it on, by doing something, by turning it into a fanzine a year later, it gave me another outlet creatively, another way to connect and do something collaboratively with a couple of mates, but then also just another way of connecting with more people. Yeah. And giving people a platform. So this time people were contributing to the fanzine.
Yeah.
Outside of just giving their kind of their experiences of the ground and as a supporter, they were submitting their own material. So I was giving people a platform for their creativity, and that was very satisfying.
So in the book you dedicate it to your dad.
Yeah.
I think I've heard in one of the podcasts that I listened to, and definitely know you've said this before, and if you haven't, I'm going to kick myself. But your dad's favourite film was Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Hanging
on that wall over there, which is currently behind a curtain, but if you come into No Place Like Home, you'll see this as well. There's a poster of Wizard of Oz as well.
Yeah.
So there's a connection there. I'm assuming that the beautiful yellow floor that we're sat on now as well is connected to that. So is it bedded into that as well? Is that the deeper kind of resonance there and that connection?
I think so, yeah. So the book's called No Place Like Home, not only as a reference to the club leaving their home, but as a nod and a dedication to my dad, who got me into football really with the help of like my brother, just through osmosis. So that was kind of a little nod to him.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that was his favourite film. I never thought to ask, but I kind of think the messages in it, they resonate with me, and I guess they would have resonated with him in some way. It's about like, there's a quote at the back of the book. It's like, if you know yourself and we know each other, then you're always home. Yeah. And that really felt good. Yeah. And I guess there's that sense of belonging is a thread that's running through all of it.
I mean, 100%, because I'm going to ask now why, with what you've now built with this physical manifestation of No Place Like Home, which is a huge step. and I've seen and experienced part of the journey with you, which has, like I said, been an honour. It's given me some amazing insight for the journey I'm going through with Tom at the moment as well too. But why is it so important for you to create community and connect people? Because that's a theme that is been present since, I mean, looking back, the creation of the book, but we're looking at Club Le Cafe as well.
Yeah.
So just we spoke about this when we did a very small piece when this space was still being brought to life. But tell people what Club Le Cafe was.
Club Le Cafe. So that was, I just moved in with Jade at that point, beginning of 2023. And I think we're in the April at this point, and I just had an idea one morning. I wanted to bring these people together that I'd met in different ways since moving to the town. I say in different ways, mostly from the Yoga Factory or Cult. Yeah. But you get what I mean.
The two inlets.
Yeah. And I pitched Coffee Club to Jade, and she said, "Yeah, it sounds great." So just to put a few names in a WhatsApp group. There wasn't many, and it kind of just snowballed into like a 60-person WhatsApp group or something like that. And you maybe get like at peak times 25, 30 people coming. And I'd just make coffee, and sometimes we'd bake, sometimes people would bring stuff, and people would just stand in the kitchen chatting and meeting new people, or reconnecting with someone they'd already met but might not, seen for a while or whatever. And I just really enjoyed watching that, which is odd. Like, I couldn't participate in it because of making coffees. And
you were doing stuff.
Yeah.
But as a voyeur, watching it go about.
It was really, I found it really satisfying.
Yeah.
Like to, in some way, be a glue, Like I can do that.
Well, you're facilitating the whole thing, aren't you? Without you having done that and put your own home out there and opened the doors and created that environment, that's not happening. No,
but that doesn't feel like a big thing to do. Jade may say differently. Like she very, very kindly signs off on most of my harebrained ideas, and that was one of them, really. Like, these people you don't really know, and then saying to those people, if you want to bring anyone, that's cool. Yeah. And we only had to ban one person.
You've done
not
it,
a bad return,
right. You're doing all right. Yeah.
But it just felt normal to do that to me. It didn't feel like why would we do it? It just felt like, why wouldn't we do that? Because I think this town lends itself to that as well. It's a friendly, welcoming, warm town.
You're completely right. I think the community here is what makes... I wouldn't have done this in Dagenham. No. Open door policy, I can't imagine it goes down everywhere. But there is something incredibly special about this community. Yeah. It's not something everyone would do, Joe. Right. In legal otherwise, opening your door to essentially strangers or an extended network of people to come in. There is something incredibly special, and I think there's a trait that you have, and it's having met Jade a couple of times now. You are both incredibly open and warm people.
Too open sometimes, maybe.
Nah, I don't know. Yeah. Like, it's not been my experience of getting to know you, but you are both incredibly warm. It doesn't do it justice, but you give off something that makes you it's authentically you want to make connections with people. Yeah, and I think again that lends itself to the no place like home thing. I said to you, and I hope you took it as a compliment the other day when I said you've got a kind of really friendly landlord-like quality. That it's like, pull up a chair and tell me your problems. Yeah, and you might
listen to mine maybe whilst you're here.
You might charge for that one day. I'm not sure, but I think that's a really lovely character trait to have.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
But it's not normal what you did. Oh, and when I say it's not normal, it's not every day that someone's going to set up a WhatsApp group and invite community into their home and make them feel like it is an extension of their space as well.
Yeah, but I guess when you put it that way, that is a bit of a step to take in it. But I loved it. One week there might have been like 5 people. Yeah. And then the next time there's, like I say, 25, 30 people. But it was always just good conversation, interesting people. Yeah. I think just that small group highlighting what this town offers in larger quantities. Interesting people doing really interesting things. Like you're doing this, Tom's doing this. This is just like, everyone's got something going on, whether it's outside of their day job. Alana is a great example. Yep. She's made an excellent product out. You know, people should just go to work and go home. That's what most people do. But this town's full of it. Like, it's honestly full of entrepreneurial, creative, dedicated people.
Well, this is, I mean, without that, this podcast wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Or at least to the level that we've built it so far, which is literally tapping into this incredibly diverse pool of people in this square few miles.
It's like
I just don't think that could happen many places.
It's like some mad Chernobyl kind of explosion, and everyone's been kind of given
but more favourable side effects.
Going to go and create something now.
Yeah. I'm going to start a side hustle.
Instead of growing extra fingers. Just
exactly.
Growing revenue streams.
But no, Alana's a great example of someone that's done it. But I think we're still trying to tap into and understand. And I think me and you have tried to understand this sometimes, and maybe just accept and embrace that by signing up to doing something less conventional, you have to also deal with the less conventional feelings and connection that come with that. Like the roller coaster cliche is incredibly real. When you are putting yourself out there and trying to do something that there is no kind of roadmap for a lot of the time. So that brings us to now. Like I said at the start in the intro, we are sat in this incredible space that is, as we record this, in its 4th week.
Yeah.
Since the doors open. And testament to you, it's week 4, but Tom often gets involved in the podcast, so you're going to have to answer this, Tom. But doesn't it feel like it's been here so much longer in the best possible way?
It feels like home.
Yeah.
I know it's cliche, but
It feels so established.
And I'm doing it right. That's good.
You're doing it right.
like,
Exactly that. You're doing it right. And it feels so established and bedded in. You might not feel like that, but as you know, as people that aren't you, outsiders looking in, there is something about it just feels like it's been here for longer than it has.
Yeah,
and I mean that in the most positive way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I feel kind of quite unsure on my feet at the minute, not bedded in at all, but I definitely appreciate and I agree. Like, it does have that feel about it. And is this where I get to thank the people?
No. We're going to cut all of the thank yous out.
So like I alluded to at the start, it's an idea of mine, but you know, the 3 people that brought it out of my head and make it look and feel the way that it does to you guys and to everyone else, Jade, Mark and John. And like Jade's got a massive flair for interiors. That's her skill, as it is with me and words. It's her and interiors.
Yep.
Mark and John with like the expertise, and again, like the skills that they've got from their industry. They just, all 3 of them elevated this to something that I could only have dreamed of. I couldn't have done this on my own at all. You probably would have had a nice time, may not have rushed back, it would have been a bit naff. But you walk into here and you're transported into, you're outside a container, you walk into this, and that feeling that you get is owed to those 3.
Okay.
Undoubtedly. Yeah. Very grateful to them.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
It takes a village.
That's literally in my head was, it takes a village, but it is completely true.
Yeah.
And both from a support perspective, again with Jade, and I'm sure Mark and John have supported you as well.
Mark and John, Mark and John are 2 great guys, and what like their motivations behind this were just wanting to see a space like this in their town, and they wanted to just make it possible and make it as good as possible, and so that they just wanted to kind of help.
Yeah.
And their generosity with their time, their skills, investment in this place, it makes it what it is. Yeah.
Which I'll add to the shout out if that's okay, because again, through the couple of times we met Jade, I think within the first 10 minutes of meeting Jade, she'd offered to help us with what we're doing with the studio.
Yeah,
she's straight away.
Yeah, she's generous like that.
Incredibly generous with her time. And then Mark and John did exactly the same thing and offered a coffee to sit down and just be able to try and articulate what me and Tom were envisioning for our space into something that actually made sense and was tangible, as opposed to the ramblings of 2 crazy people But that's what you need. Like the
Yeah.
idea itself sometimes, without ideas, the physical manifestation of something can't happen, but you also need the doers.
Yeah,
you
it's
need
not
the
enough.
idea, and then you need the...
Yeah, exactly. It's not enough just to have the idea. And this all came about kind of, I don't want to say fluke, but I remember, so I know John through nursery drops. He's literally the only dad I speak to at the nursery,
Right.
the only one. And just mentioned to him that I'd kind of put this deposit down for these units and all that kind of thing. And he said, oh, that sounds good. Yeah, if you need help, just a hand with anything, let me know. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool, cheers. And that was the end of it,
Right.
like November, very soon after putting the deposit down. And I just thought he meant, like, if you need a hand, like, you know, putting a bit of paint on the wall.
I was
I
gonna
hope you
say,
do that, yeah.
Good
And,
with a roller.
and then it was back end of December. I bumped into Mark in North for a coffee. And he's like, oh, when you're back to work? And I was like, I don't actually know, because here's what I've done, and here's what I'm planning for the new year. And I've told him this idea with no real idea of how I'm going to do it at that point, other than I've secured the units. Like that's as far as I've got. And I want it to, like, mid-century modern. It's going to be a workspace, community space, live sports, all this kind of thing. But with no idea how I'd execute that. And that was a topic of conversation that would come up a couple of times with me and Jade. Like, how are you going to do this? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Typical me, just kicking it down the road until something comes up.
But that's interesting as well. And maybe I knew this at some point, because again, we've spoken a lot over the last six months, I guess,
Yeah.
6-7 months since you signed that lease. But interesting, the chronology of it was that you'd already signed the units before John and Mark got involved, and maybe I was under the impression that everything was bedded in from the start.
No,
but you
no.
did. You started this.
Yeah, started this without. I had to do something. I had to make a change. I couldn't go on the way I was floating. I'd left a job that I was really unhappy in, which may surprise you, and I was just, you know, the boys had been born, and I was picking up whatever work I could. And there was just a moment as they were turning one, like a very specific moment on a job where I just thought, like, how long am I going to continue this for? I've got to go into what it is that I'm feeling the pull of, you know? So that's when, we went away for a week. I was walking around in my head and figuring out what I wanted to do, how I was going to do it, and still didn't really. Now I came back thinking, oh yeah, I'll just I don't know, pick up a bit more freelance creative, and I'll just agency based. I'll be an agency. And heart wasn't in that. Heart wasn't in it at all. And just came back to having a space. You know, came back to having a space. I'd had some conversations on the Broadway at certain places throughout 2025, beginning of 2025. Yeah. So it was on the radar. But yeah, then I thought, no, I've got to do this, and I'm going to go back down to the marina. I'm going to speak to Oliver and just going to go for this, you know. And so yeah, it was out of kind of just necessity. I had to do it and figure it out later. And that's kind of similar to quitting that job years ago and going to work with Nick in Soho. I just needed to get out of that, and I'll figure it out when I'm with him. And it's the same sort of, like, I'll take the risk. I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah. Again, if we're looking for wanky cliches here, it's taking the leap, isn't it?
I took the leap. Yeah,
is advice.
It was stupid, really, on paper, wasn't it? It's stupid. I didn't know what I was doing.
But what we measuring that against? Because I think so many people.
I run a business before in my life.
Well, but so many people that make that leap. When you look at, let's say you're making that decision based on a spreadsheet. So you might not enjoy work, but the numbers suggest you should stay doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
because you're paying your bills, you're doing what you need to do. So changing that, there might be a payoff later down the line. But actually, if we're just doing it on a spreadsheet, might be the worst decision to possibly make. So yeah, stupid decision, whatever.
Yeah.
But in all of the other areas, and there's nothing like having kids, in my experience, not everyone's experience, but nothing like having kids to make you recalibrate and reassess what you want to do, the way you want to be intentional with your time. Because again, nothing that speeds time up like having children as
jeez.
well.
Yeah.
And I had exactly the same epiphany around exactly the same time my son turned 1. And without having a fully formed idea in my head, I handed in my notice one day without having a clear direction of what I wanted to do. Stupid decision. It was a secure job. I made good money and we had a lifestyle it was funding. But not any point did I genuinely didn't regret that at any point after I made that decision. Got pissed the night I did it.
You
Absolutely fucked.
Followed the pull with the heart, right?
Yeah. I lent into it. And again, as cliche as it sounds, you take the leap.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you mentioned children, because that was something that was going on in my mind. It's like they're still very young, but they're only going to get bigger, and you want to set an example to them. They're going to follow what you do, not what you say. And if I'm telling them to be brave, follow their passions, and take risks and all this kind of thing, but I'm not doing it, then how dare I say that?
Yeah, there's a degree of hypocrisy.
They need to see me. They need to see me giving something a go. And then to a degree, I guess, like it's for younger me needs to see me giving something a go. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, you are, whether you're comfortable with this label or not, you're an inspiration. So many people come in here and hear the story, and I hear you telling the story. However comfortable you are wearing that cap sometimes.
A little bit hot.
But you're an inspiration. Like what you've built, the leap that you've taken, and jumping into the unknown allows other people to feel like, I can do that. Which is the whole crux of this podcast, is to have people like yourself share your story in the hope that it opens the door just a little bit for people to think, oh, if someone else can do it, and someone else is prone to all the fear and anxiety and oh shit, am I doing the right thing? The doubt, the self-doubt, but they're still doing it anyway. The hope is that it inspires other people to do the same.
I guess, and it's a good point. I would have looked at people doing a similar thing and taken some confidence and inspiration from that. People are out there doing these things and giving it a go. Just feel very grateful that there are three great people around me that wanted to help me make it succeed, make it possible, and that believed in me, that believed in me and the idea. Really, they didn't have to do that. No, didn't have to do it at all. But I'm glad they did.
That's the joy of.
Hope they are.
I'm sure they are, and I'm sure they do it because they. In Jade's case, and I'm sure John and Mark's, they love you, mate, and they want to see you succeed. Definitely Jade. Maybe not so Mark and John, but again, they feel very fondly, and they believe in what you're trying to build. You don't get that level of support unless
they definitely
backing.
There's a belief in there. Eternally grateful that they just saw something in the idea and see something in me that they want to.
I'm conscious. I'm saying all this to you, and you're 4 weeks in. And I feel like there's
it could be blown away in a week.
There's a little bit of resistance and hesitation to kind of lean in fully and I know through conversations we've had, we're all feeling there's doubt sometimes about how things are going, and you're finding your feet at the moment as well. But I know for people listening to this, that people have come into the space, like we all believe that this is going to be a complete success. So again, I just want to say on the record,
need to hear that
it's there. Like you should have the confidence, because we keep talking about the Field of Dreams thing.
Yeah, the amount of times I've said that over the years as well. Like just kind of can't believe I actually built it, and now I'm hoping they will come. This
is the space there's very clearly this through line, which is you building community and connecting people. This is the physical manifestation of that. Be outside of your own home. Which you need a bit of separation, right?
Yeah.
You need a bit of separation.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should be enjoying it more, if I'm honest.
Yep. What's been the toughest part of getting to this point?
As in getting to week 4.
Getting to week 4, getting to, again, the being the physical space, but getting to week 4.
I think just seeing an idea through, because you can have a load of them. And whilst we've spoken about a book, a magazine, and a podcast, that's just 3 things. There's a million ideas that don't make it out, and you can just cast them aside and never worry about them again. or they might haunt you a little bit, and you know that's fine. But this is an idea that has got some stakes to it. You know, a magazine doesn't, a book doesn't, and other than people sparing a bit of time to participate in it, this is, no one asked me to have this idea or to follow it through.
No one asked for this, is what you're saying.
No one asked for this. No one asked me to do this, and now people were supporting me with it. And you know, Jade, Mark, and John. So there's stakes to the idea now, and it's got for the first time, an idea's got to deliver on something on a wider scale. I'm not just saying I'm going to make a magazine, and if I don't make a magazine, it doesn't really matter. I've told a town that I'm building a community space that's going to hold film screenings and workshops and collaborate with local colleges, and it's going to do all these lovely things. And I've got to do it. I've got to do it now. There's no height, and I don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
You know, least of all not only the kind of the community, the actual community, but the three people that have supported me most in making it come to life.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel the weight of that. And
well, thank you for being honest about it, and in all our interactions, you have been honest about it, whilst at the same time, you know, supporting me through my anxiety and self-doubt, because we all experience it. And I think, again, it's a universal thing. I think if you go into this just completely ignorant to the fact that the reality is very hard, much harder than the expectation half the time.
Yeah.
You know, we have this lived experience, and it is that roller coaster. So I think, again, it will be incredibly relatable for people to hear, but refreshing, and also important for people to know, if they are going to do this, you are subscribing to not always feeling like you've got your shit together.
Yeah. And, you know, and maybe that's where you've got to find some peace. Like, maybe I'm not supposed to enjoy it. Maybe you're not supposed, you know, maybe we're not supposed to enjoy running a business. But that's the tax you've got to pay for following your heart. And the alternative, someone pointed out, sat outside there the other day, you know, the alternative is that you have a boss, and you go back to that, and that's not an alternative anymore for me. You know, so this is it, and maybe that's okay. Another guy, sorry to go on, but I spoke to a guy on my podcast a couple of years ago, Tarek Perchu, and he created the largest amateur soccer league in the United States. And he said something that resonated. I was doing Club the Cafe at the time, and it's just come to my mind now. You don't get to enjoy the thing that you've made the way other people that are using it do. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I'm not going to experience walking in here and coming in and using the workspace, or coming in to enjoy a film screening or whatever. I'm facilitating that. I don't. So the byproduct of that is I don't get to enjoy doing it. Enjoy
it's
the
a different
experience,
right? Yeah.
And maybe that is just what running a business is. The same for anyone. You know, James at North is a good example. We go into there on a Saturday night, and that's a great place to go for a glass of wine. Yeah. And it's a vibe. But he's the other side of that counter. Yeah,
having a very
and he's not seeing what you're seeing when you walk in the door. He's he's running the business and looking at the numbers and all this.
There's a lot more going on beneath the surface.
But he's created the best place to go for a drink in the town.
Yeah, no, you're completely right.
And it's the same with anyone you've had on, I guess.
Well, I think I said this to you the other day. You get to a point, if you're doing something new, if you're willing to leap off the edge and try something and go into a world you know little about at this stage, you know, you don't deserve to feel confident in that space yet. You have to earn confidence by becoming competent at it, and that only comes through time. Yeah. So you have to accept that feeling of imposter syndrome. You have to accept the feeling of being at your depth. And as you say, it's the lesser of two evils, because on the alternative side is you go into your more traditional forms of employment where you've got bosses and loss of autonomy. Yeah. And would you be happier doing that? Fuck no. No. At least in our case.
Clock will be ticking. 3 years down the line, I'll be in trouble again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to keep that in mind, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
That's really good advice.
Okay. Well, I'll be here a lot, so I'll just keep. I go, Joe. I do just want to talk about the reality as well. I'm talking with Remedy at the moment and Claire, who's built a beautiful space up in Lee, but obviously down at the marina now as well, about well-being, specifically men's well-being. But how do you make time for yourself? And week 4, I'm assuming you've had no time for yourself.
No.
But it's such an important part. You've got to keep yourself fit, healthy, both as a dad, as a partner, but now as a business owner as well, because without you, the business won't function.
No.
So how do you make space for your own time and well-being? I can see this is like a this is a very
But yeah, I think I only really tuned into self-care in the last few years since I moved out here, and made a conscious effort to implement self-care routine into my day-to-day life.
right.
And that was working really well before we had children and I opened a business.
They don't go hand in hand, do they? And
No.
20-month-old twins definitely don't go hand in hand.
And that goes for both of us. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm still getting the odd run in, and that's more than I can say for Jade. You know, she's I'm very lucky that I get to do that. But yeah, I wouldn't, to answer your question, I wouldn't say I'm kind of handling any of that too well. There's plates are dropping all over the place, basically.
And that's a sacrifice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's, however much we go on about work-life balance and how we should all be striving to get it, something has to give. And I work with an incredible nutritionist who really doubles up as a therapist. She's amazing, Alex Allen, I always describe it as an indulgence. So going to a yoga class, that's indulgent. Going for a run when I should be doing something else, it's kind of indulgent. And she's banned me from using that word, and I'm on board with her. If
It's really interesting that you would consider that.
I say
indulgent.
For me, it's indulgent, but anyone else, a third party, I would be advising you need to invest in yourself. You need to give yourself that time. But for me, it's indulgent to do that.
That's interesting.
So I almost try to ban myself from doing that. But again, the first month of a space being open, it's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an answer. I don't think there's a world where I can say, Joe, but you should give yourself 2 hours to go and meditate and do yoga and all these things. It doesn't work.
The thing is, I've got time to. I could find 10 minutes to meditate.
Yeah.
But because of the headspace I'm in, and it's the stress is there, and anxiety is there. I just find myself doom scrolling.
Yeah.
And I know, so I have the time. I could do something I could do star jumps for 5 minutes. And if I don't get to do a workout or a run, I could do something. But I'm making bad choices.
Yeah.
And that's what you do when you're not firing on all cylinders. I think but the bad choices are easier to grab.
It feels like comfort food for the brain almost, doesn't it? The doom scrolling thing, which it's not. We all know it's not. I think
there's a book over there, and I'm like, I could just put this down. But
and it's going to be healthier for you. You feel better for doing that. You're not digesting a load of shit as you're scrolling through and comparing yourself maybe against other things that you're seeing.
Yeah.
What was the stat the other day? There's a headline that's come out in the last week that we spend between 4.5 and 5 years of our lives.
Makes me sick. I feel a bit pathetic when I'm doing
doom scrolling without an intention on our phone, which is
that's alarming. Yeah, that is alarming.
But it is the reality of it. I can kind of understand exactly how that would add up.
Yeah, and it feels like I just used the word pathetic. I feel as a 42-year-old man doing that, I feel quite sad when I catch myself doing it, and but then I'll do it the next day.
It's such a cycle though, isn't it? But again, right now, you've only got so much bandwidth, and so much of that mental bandwidth is here at home, being a partner, being a parent, all these things. It's very hard to then go, I need to separate just a little bit more of that, and then think about myself from a self-care perspective.
Yeah, that goes out the window.
Yeah.
And I have this issue with time and like running out of it.
Right.
So I'm kind of thinking we're 20 months into the boys.
Yeah.
And Jade into boxing, and she's not done that as anywhere near as much. So she's experiencing the same thing, even more so. but yeah, I have this issue with thinking, oh, I'm running out of time and I need to, I don't know, it's only 4 weeks in, but it's another 4 weeks that are on top of 20 months that I've been off. Not that I've not been doing stuff, but not to the level that I would like to, or feel that I need to. And that worries me that it will kind of then just go.
Yeah.
And then the boys won't see me doing these things that mean so much to me.
Yeah. Because that's it. Because that's what you have to offset, right? The time away from your kids, in the hope that what you're building, they're going to see that and see that what you're doing is in a large part for them, and it's so difficult to weigh that up in your mind, though, especially maybe when you're in here and you're thinking there's those seeds of doubt that start to grow slightly. And you're thinking, I'm away from my kids. I get at the same time, I get homesick, and I'm only 10 minutes away. I get homesick, and I'm thinking, and now both my boys are at school. That's the next milestone. I used to be able to go home at any point, and now they're at school, and I can't just run into school and give them a hug.
No,
and that's the reality of it. It's
stranger danger. I get that though. I mean, at the moment, there's not much going on here at the moment other than the workspace. So weekends, I'm open just for visibility. People are coming in and they're finding the place for the first time, and that's great. But in terms of and it's not all about bottom line, but in terms of the return, like, it's hard for me to justify walking away from Jade and the boys for what it's bringing to the table.
Yeah, if we're looking at it from on a
visibility,
spreadsheet,
great. It's like, but and I know that is important, but it's like, walking out, kind of like I'm leaving Jade in the trenches and I'm missing something.
Yeah,
and it's not, it's not enough. But then at the same time, in 6 months' time, won't be thinking about the first 4 weeks probably.
No,
hopefully.
I mean, look, this is absolute. You're ground zero at the minute.
Yeah.
You're building something from scratch.
Aaron at Hybrid said he's still new, and I thought, you're like 2 years old. That's a.
Well, it's going to take 2 years, and I'm still going to feel new.
Yeah, that's a humbling, terrifying, depressing thought. That, but also good advice at the same time.
Well, not that you need to be told this, and hopefully through at least some of this conversation, you understand that is my genuine opinion. You're doing really well, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Like, you're doing really well. Like, genuinely, you just got to keep going. Like, as a dad, as a partner, as a business owner now, and having opened the doors and building something, you're doing really well.
Cheers, mate.
So keep doing it. I think as people going through the trenches and trying to do something again that's less conventional, where we don't always have people in our ear going, "Oh, well done for today. You smashed it. That's really, really good." We don't have a manager going, performance appraisals going every single week. "Oh yeah, no, you've hit. Oh, you've done this. You've tracked it." Obviously, you get the downsides to that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes being out of an environment where you've got someone looking down, going, "Well done." Like, you're smashing it. Well done. So yeah, just in case you needed it today.
I appreciate
You're
that,
doing
mate.
really well.
But you're probably the same. I won't hear that. It won't go in.
No, of course it won't.
Yeah.
No. Just for a second, though.
It just kind of blurs
we'll
out.
freeze frame the shot, and just for a second, I saw it. Yeah,
I do appreciate it.
You digested it for a
But
second.
I don't believe you.
Right, before we go on, do you know what? It's been a few weeks since we've recorded a podcast, and I'm struggling with the order of the end bit. But before we go on to either the question or a game, we'll decide what order that's going to be in a second. I've got one more question for you. What would you say to someone on the fence about taking the leap and making a change with work?
So go for it. Yeah.
So, do you know what? I've got to change the question, haven't I? But I do think it's important. Like,
even though, like, on the other side of it is, you're just replacing the problem you've got there with a load of other problems. It's hard to say. Don't take the leap. Yeah, I'd say go for it.
It'd be tough as well if you sat here
Just
now.
come join me in the trenches.
Yeah,
join us.
Yeah, come join the cult of people that are just like doubting themselves all the time.
Yeah,
it's really fun. I hope we've sold it to you. I think Jimbo. We're talking about North. Jimbo, I think, gave a really honest answer about it, and he just listed a lot of considerations that you really need to think about. Is it the life that you really want to prescribe to, or throw yourself into and sign up to? I still think if you pushed him to go one side of the fence or the other, he's going to say, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
But it was really grounded in reality.
I mean, it was his dream all his life, right?
Yeah.
But he's acknowledging it comes at a cost.
There is a sacrifice and a cost. And again, a dad of young kids.
It makes it work. That's I mean, that is an example that I look to, seeing a business owner with 2 kids making it work, and a partner that's got a wife that's got a demanding job, and he's making it work.
I think what was particularly beautiful about what Jimbo was describing as well, I've got a flyer, come say hello, was how he's involved his kids. Yeah. In the opening of the shop and doing that. I just think that's lovely. And there'd be core memories for his kids as they grow up.
Absolutely, yeah. They're never going to eat shit bread. Yeah. They've gone straight to the top with the sourdough.
Yeah. When they're old enough, the wine's going to be good.
Yeah. No, but it's a good point. Dropping the boys off at nursery, we would walk back, we go get a coffee in North, and the boys are there before school. Yeah. And you don't think anything of it. There they are, the boys are there. Yeah. Say hello, and they kind of,
that's just the special.
They're part of it. It's a family business.
Special thing about the community again, isn't it, I think. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, look, I have a game if you want to play it.
Okay. I think so. Yeah.
It's not the game that I suggested earlier while I was sat here. It's a different game because Lee Marina is turning into a very special community. But I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to ask you.
Just gulped.
So basically, this is an opportunity to both plug businesses operating out of Lee Marina, but also test how well you know your neighbours. Okay. So you're going to have 30 seconds. Tom, can you time 30 seconds for me? Yeah. You're going to have 30 seconds to name 8 of the other businesses, artists, wellness spaces in Lee Marina as you can.
I've got to hope there's more than 8 if I've got to get every single one.
I've listed this earlier, so there are more than 8, so you don't have to go 100% of it. And we're not going to offend anyone because I'm going to end up trying to list as many as I can if you miss anyone out. But 30 seconds, 8 of the other businesses in the area. So name as many of your neighbours as you possibly can.
Okay, yeah.
Hopefully 8. Ready? Wait. Go.
Katie, KLM Pilates.
Brilliant.
Callum, Revival Shed / Yard.
Yes, brilliant. Yeah, that's which is opening in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Then we've got John Hawker and Tom Strike, Jabba.
Yes, love that. That was on the list.
Then we've got Abby and Aaron Hybrid Hub Gym.
Yep.
Jesse and Lydia Drift Studio.
Yep.
Jesse Drift Cafe.
Oh, you've double drifted. You've double drifted. What were we like for time? Was that it? Oh,
that was our 30 seconds already.
That was a context. That was a context. So it was 6. That was 6. It was 6. I thought it was an incredible. Well, look,
I needed 37. I needed 37.
37 seconds. Yeah, there's no change in the rules. Tom, if he's lost the game, he's lost the game. But I think you did really well.
Thank you.
It took me. It took me a long time to write this list down earlier. So we've got KLM Pilates that you said. We've got Wave Barber.
Yeah, I didn't get to
Wave Barbers. Yeah. We've got both iterations of Drift. We've got Hybrid Hub, Remedy, Annie. Let Us Be Together with her new studio space.
Oh God, she painted my sign today, and I didn't mention Annie.
But you've just done it. You've just done it. You're building up to it. That's all right. Yeah. That's okay. And she's gonna. 30 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's fair. Grassed Up. That's there. That's there. Danny Avis Photography.
Yeah.
These are all. I want to keep going. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her name right. Please.
Claire at Remedy. This is why the place smells so good, and I didn't mention Claire. That should have been the first.
Shout out on the candle.
Yeah, it should have been 100%. The first person on the list, really.
You could argue Annie should have been the first person. Claire should have been. I like the fact that we were right up there. That's made me feel good. Irene Della Porta.
Oh God, Irene.
Some of the artists that have now taken on their units as well, which is just incredible to see that community growing.
My omissions were not personal, just
no. Well, it just gives me an opportunity to shout them out like I've really thought about it. And the last one I've got, so I might offend someone now, but it's Claire Hankey as well.
Oh my God.
There's more that I haven't listed as well. But anyway, just shout outs to some of the community and our neighbours, our soon-to-be neighbours that are springing up.
Let's do that. Let's do that one again.
Yeah,
I'll just reel those off for you.
No way, you've done. Right, okay, we had to gamify it. It's the closing tradition on the podcast now. Now, this is usually my mum that sends in the question.
Okay, yeah.
This week, and maybe this week only, it's actually my son.
Oh.
my son Finley, who's 8 years old, and he's been waiting in the wings, just waiting for an opportunity for mum to fuck up and not send me a question. Admittedly, she's travelling around part of the States at the moment on a Harley trike, so we'll let her off. This is literally what she's doing.
Trip booked by Finley to get her out of the picture so he could ask his question.
Part of his master plan. So what I'm going to do, I will try and play this full volume. It never works.
Is it hard telling your twins apart?
I heard that. Sophie sent that earlier on his trip home from school, and I had to go with that one. I think it's a great question.
Not when I'm looking at them, no, but when they're in the buggy and somebody asks who they are, which one's which, I have to go around the front and just double check which one's in which side, yeah. Because we don't ant and deck it and keep one on the same side every time.
No, just mix it up.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
From the top, could be.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, other than that,
you're pretty good.
I branded one.
Just a permanent marker.
Yeah.
Well, Finley, I hope that answers your question, darling. I'm sure it
Thanks,
does.
Finley. Appreciate the question, mate.
Joe, it's been an honour, man.
Oh,
honestly, it's just been a real pleasure, and I'm sure I speak for Tom too. But just to see this come to life and know that it's being run by such a humble, lovely, incredible human being. It's been a pleasure getting to know you as well, and I know it's going to be a success. And I just implore everyone to come down and try this space and sit here and look at the views and eat the sandwiches and drink the amazing coffee, because it is a vibe.
Cheers, mate.
So
I appreciate it. Yeah, I
congratulations.
appreciate it, and I hope I can get the events calendar rolled out as quickly as possible to just give you guys something to enjoy.
It will happen, and I'm sure we're going to see more news on that over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Nice one, mate.
Congratulations, mate.
Appreciate it.
Smashed
Appreciate
it.
it. Cheers, Tom.
Hey, we're done. Well done, man. That was awesome.
Cheers, mate.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.